Sure, Al. 6:30, call the meeting to order. We'll stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Al, when you told me it was time.
I think I pressed the wrong button. Sorry, man. You were only 10 seconds late, so that was okay.
I'm going to take my mask off. I have a proclamation here. It's a rather long one. Bear with me. Whereas Winona, Minnesota is home to people of all backgrounds, including those who were not born in the United States, but now call it home. Whereas fostering a welcoming environment for all individuals, regardless of race, ethnicity, or place of origin, enhances Winona's cultural fabric, economic growth, global competitiveness, and overall prosperity for current and future generations. Whereas Winona, Minnesota recognizes and values the importance of diversity of its residents, including communities of color, the LGBT plus community, people with disabilities, and people with diverse cultures and religions, including immigrants, refugees, Latinos, African American, Jewish, Arab, and Muslim American community members. In this time of historic reckoning, Winona, Minnesota commits to being a safe and welcoming community for all. Whereas we recognize that disparities exist by race, ethnicity, immigration status, income, disability, gender, sexual identity, and other factors that can impede our future prosperity. We also recognize that institutions and systems have been built to discriminate, oppress, and marginalize Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Furthermore, the aforementioned disparities can be exacerbated by racial and linguistic diversity that intersect with and compound the effects of additional disparities and inequities based on racial background and limited English language proficiency. Whereas Winona, Minnesota is responsible for creating an inclusive community and rejecting the marginalization of racially and ethnically diverse community members. Whereas now more than ever, we must come together as a community with compassion and unity, with welcome and respect, and with shared values that all diverse community residents are safe and that civil rights are protected. We encourage residents and community organizations to reach out and support racially and ethnically diverse communities and organizations that support them. Whereas Winona, Minnesota encourages the business leadership, civic groups, other government agencies, and community institutions to undertake their own initiatives beyond this resolution to make the region a welcoming place for new and long-term residents alike. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of Winona, Minnesota, that we hereby proclaim Winona, Minnesota, part of the Welcoming Network, and will join Welcoming America to support the work of welcoming in the city. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Mark Peterson, hereby proclaim September 12th through September 20th as Welcoming Week in the city of Winona, and encourage all current residents to extend a warm welcome to new residents in our community. And with that, that's all I have tonight. So I'll turn it over to the city manager.
Just want to say congratulations to Luke and Rebecca Sims on the birth of their daughter, Charlotte. Thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Mayor Peterson.
Here.
Councilman Thurley.
Here.
Moeller.
Here.
Alexander.
Here.
Iden. Borshakowski.
Here.
Schollmeyer.
Here.
Under the petitions, requests, and communications, item 3.1, appointments to the Human Rights Commission of Jacob Griffin, Frederick Lee, and Tina Schott.
Michelle moves approval.
Schollmeyer second.
Motion by Michelle, seconded by Paul. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor George here.
Yes, George?
I just want to send out to Linda Betka to thank her for her time on the Human Rights Commission, because she will be retiring as the director of the Housing and Redevelopment Association here in the near future, and Tina is her replacement that does quite a bit with all of the homes and things out there. So it's a very, very good appointment along with the other two.
Okay, thank you. We'll vote by roll call.
Oh, I'm not ready. Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Iden, Borzakowski,
Aye.
Solmeyer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 3.2, appointment to the Heritage Preservation Commission of Michael Doyle.
Schollmeyer moves.
Second, Michelle.
Motion by Paul and seconded by Michelle. Any discussion? All right, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Solmeyer.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3.3 is the application for off-sale intoxicating liquor license for J&R Fifth Street Liquor LLC. Jennifer Corcoran and Rory Revere are the owners. And Jennifer is logged on if you have questions.
I, Michelle Alexander, move approval of that request.
Eileen seconds.
All right, a motion by Michelle and seconded by Eileen. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Solmeyer.
Aye.
Carries.
Item 3.4 is the sign and banner schedule.
I, Michelle Alexander, move approval of those requests.
Schollmeyer second.
All right, a motion by Michelle and seconded by Paul. Any discussion? Vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Solmeyer.
Aye.
Carried.
Item 3.5 is the request for the 5K, PK 5K. The date has been moved to October 17th.
I, Michelle Alexander, move approval of that request.
George seconds it.
Motion by Michelle, seconded by George. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Solmeyer.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item 3.6, request for handicap parking at 518 Lincoln Street and a request to waive the fee.
I, Michelle Alexander, approve that request with the, or make a motion to introduce the attached ordinance and agree to waive the fee.
Eileen, I second.
Motion by Michelle and seconded by Eileen. Any discussion? Vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Solmeyer.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3.7, request for handicap parking by Watkins on Liberty Street.
I, Michelle Alexander, move approval of that request and move to introduce that ordinance.
Schollmeyer
Eileen.
second.
Motion by Michelle, seconded by Paul. Any discussion? We'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Solmeyer.
Aye.
Passes.
Item 3.8, request for reduction in the seating capacity at bars and restaurants from the Winona State University Student Senate.
I,
George.
Michelle Alexander, make a motion to deny that request.
George will second that, but I am in support of what staff recommends, that the council authorize the manager to respond to WSU. with the request indicating that the city will not take the action requested due to the circumstances outlined above.
Okay, there was a motion by Michelle and seconded by George. Discussion.
Schoenmeyer,
Oh, sorry.
Eileen, go ahead.
Just that I appreciate the student senate taking the initiative on this, and I appreciate that they are acknowledging that students are gathering in large numbers at the bars and restaurants. But I think for the reasons outlined by staff, it's not beneficial for the city to put that on the businesses at this time. I hope that the businesses will be respecting the capacity limitations and that people will be wearing their masks appropriately in the business.
I agree, and I want to thank the fire department and the police department for their surveillance and their checking the bars and making sure that they're in compliance. And I'm pleased to know that the bar owners largely have been in compliance, and this time may come, but I don't think it's now to do this. But I do appreciate the student senate's initiative here.
also member Schoenmeyer.
Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add that I agree with Councilmember Moeller and Mayor Peterson. I do want to acknowledge the Student Senate for paying attention and participating in our local democracy here and coming forward. It's important that they engage community leadership when they feel like they're having an impact. We all know that they likely are having an impact, especially during the pandemic. We know that they're taking steps they announced today to hopefully mitigate some of that. But I concur with the staff recommendation and will also be voting in favor of the denial.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander.
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Schoenmeyer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Under new business, item 5.1 is the Historical Society loan agreement for the Wilkie Bell and Whistle.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to direct the city manager and clerk to execute the attached loan agreement.
Al Thurley here. I second the motion.
Motion by Michelle and seconded by Al. Any discussion?
Mayor George here.
Go ahead, George.
Why don't we just give them that bell and whistle?
Well, as in other items in the past, it's always been on a long-term loan.
Okay.
And that's fine with the Historical Society.
Okay.
That's how it's been done, I think, for legal reasons too.
Okay. No, I'm glad to see it happen. So at least people
Maybe
have.
Chris wants to weigh in.
Just very briefly, good evening, everyone. And yeah, the primary reason is that we can't donate to a nonprofit corporation, and this would be construed as a donation. So that's why it's structured the way it is.
Thank you.
Is that the case with the Historical Society though, Chris, even though in statute the cities can contribute?
There is a monetary, but I think, Mayor Peterson, that it's based on an appropriation that has to be made.
Oh, okay. Well, since I am currently working at the Historical Society, I will abstain.
Councilman Thurley here with a comment.
Go ahead, Al.
I support the agreement. I just wish to note that it goes through 2048, at which time I will be 100 years old. So I hope I'm around.
We all hope you're around too, Al. And maybe
Thanks.
you'll be back on the council then too.
You never know.
Birds will still be on.
I'll be 95.
All right, any other comments? We'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Abstain.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander.
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Schollmeyer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 5.2, a certified local government grant agreement for the Wyndham Park Historic District. And Lucy is here if you have questions.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to approve the attached resolution and enter into the grant agreement.
Eileen, I second.
Motion by Michelle and seconded by Eileen. Discussion or questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Schollmeyer.
Aye.
Passes.
Item 5.3 is the transit grant application for the bus garage project.
I make a motion to adopt the attached resolution.
George,
Schollmeyer,
second
second.
that.
All right, motion by Michelle and seconded by George. Discussion? All right, we'll vote by roll call.
I have a question, Mayor, just
Oh, I'm
of,
sorry, go ahead.
clerk and transit coordinator. So we have the $13,000 match in current funding for that?
It is included in the 2021 budget, and the city match would come from our transit reserves.
Okay, thanks. Thank
Any
you.
other questions? All right, we'll vote. Roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander.
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Schollmeyer.
Aye.
Carries.
Item 5.4 is the Community Forestry Corps member. John Howard is here if you have questions.
I, Michelle Alexander, make a motion to authorize staff to execute the agreement.
Schollmeyer, second.
Motion by Michelle and seconded by Paul. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor George here.
Okay, go ahead, George.
Could John just give us a little update on this? And one question I have, and I think it's probably clear in here, but just to clarify, this is not going to be a city employee.
You are correct, sir. Yeah, Mayor and Council, there are a few items that I should update you with regard to this proposal. One item is that was brought to the attention by the city attorney is that there was kind of a lacking indemnity clause in the contract, and so that has been suggested that an indemnity clause be added to the contract to protect the city, and that was not able to be incorporated prior to the agenda going out, but staff is working with the Reading and Math Incorporated, the folks who are administering this program, to have that clause incorporated, and that seems to be in line with their intents. It just was not something that was included. So there would need to be some minor modification to the contract before execution, and so that staff asked that the agreement be approved in form, but authorizing some technical and minor changes to be executed by the city manager once staff has resolved those issues. And I apologize for not having this completed prior to the meeting. It's been a condensed timeline to get this member on board and get this application in. What I can tell you about the program is it's a brand new program, and it will be about enhancing community forestry. And so that's a pretty broad brush. That's relating to urban trees, that's relating to our woods in the bluff. But this member would work basically full-time. They would not be employed by the city or do any benefits to the city. They would be essentially working hand in hand with myself and the tree crew chief to do a variety of forest-related tasks that staff is not able for time constraints to really address fully. So probably the main item they would work on is updating the inventory of the trees, which was last completed in 2016 and 2017. And unfortunately, since then, there's been a lot of ash trees that have been removed. Some have been recorded in our inventory, others have not. There's also been a lot of tree planting, which has not all been updated in the inventory. So to get that updated, there's something on the order of 12,800 trees in city streets and parks. So there's a lot of trees to be reviewing. The next probably biggest item is to work on tree planting and working with land, and also working with homeowners on identifying emerald ash borer ash trees. Most ash trees, if they're not treated, will be dead in the next couple of years. And so to help make sure residents realize that if they want to keep their ash trees, that is going to require near constant, every other year treatment of an insecticide. So there will be a few other items as mentioned on the work plan, but it is a program that should provide a lot of benefit to the city. It's very similar to what we had in 2016 and 2017, and it seemed like a very good opportunity, and that's why we put in the application.
Okay, thank you, John. Any other comments?
Al, with a question, Mr. Howard. It says that part of the duty will be to work with homeowners in, confirming their tree is an ash, et cetera. Does this mean trees both on the public boulevard and on their private land?
The intent would be to do both areas, both in the kind of public area. The boulevard trees, we know, we can confirm that whether they're treated or not and their status. But there are a lot of homeowners who have nice trees in their yard, and they may not realize they're ash trees. And we do get a number of questions of folks asking, "Is my tree an ash? Is it suffering from emerald ash borer?" And this individual would be trained by our tree crew, as well as the program, to be able to identify ash trees and see how they're doing. So to give some advice to our residents.
I predict that if this passes and is in place, that person will be very busy. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Mayor George here.
Go ahead, George.
Where will this person be housed at?
That's a good question. To start with, they will mostly be working out on the street, doing the inventory. We're hopeful that in the fall can be a decent time to get out and get working on that. So we anticipate a good portion of the first month or two is going to be out doing tree inventory. After that, they are likely to be stationed in the engineering office of City Hall. They may split some time with our tree crew, who is often out and about. So they will have a somewhat fluid situation where they're going to be doing a lot of outdoor work, a lot of field work. But I think their home base, their home office would be City Hall. But with the possibility for some remote work, depending on COVID situation and their comfort in working in an office environment.
Thank you, John.
Councilmember Schoenmeier.
Go ahead, Paul.
John, first, I just want to commend you on bringing in yet another individual, staff member, even though we won't be calling them a staff member, somebody to do work on behalf of the community. And I feel like this work is badly needed. We need to inventory our tree canopy within the community. One thing I'm curious about, once we get some of this inventory, public and private, conducted, I know from my observations that there are numerous, maybe hundreds of ash trees that are dead or dying on private property within the community, and many of them on rental property in places that are precarious and likely expensive for landowners or homeowners to remove. Is there a chance that once we get some of this identification made, that maybe the Department of Ag or the Department of Natural Resources at the state level would have some grant money to assist landowners with the removal of some of these trees, which I've seen are really preached in sitting in precarious situations that where once they start coming down will be damaging homes and property.
I think you are correct that there is going to be a number of trees that are indeed in dangerous positions. I'm not aware of grant programs that would fund would fund for removal. That is certainly something that this member could work on, is trying to find grant funds, and I think we'll be plugged in pretty well with the DNR, hopefully, as well as the University of Minnesota, because I think in many ways Winona is sort of on the leading edge of the emerald ash borer invasion, so we will be the first to bear the full consequences. So I think there will definitely be opportunity to learn from our experience, and hopefully that can be relayed into potentially getting more support for our managing our ash trees, because there are thousands that will need to be removed in the next certainly within the next decade.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Not, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Schulmeyer.
Aye.
Carries.
Item 5.5 is a resolution of support for the bonding bill.
Schulmeyer moves to approve the resolution.
Al Thurley here, I second it.
Al.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Al. Any discussion?
Councilmember Schulmeyer.
Okay, go ahead, Paul.
I just, I can't say enough how important it is to continue to communicate with our state legislators. I've been up there already twice this year, face to face at the Capitol. It's an important part of getting some of this work done. And we all know how important the Riverfront Trail is. And if we get a bonding bill, hopefully this will play a major role, just like it might have or will with the Amtrak station platform and the side rails for the rail corridor. So these resolutions are important. It's important to get our message to our representatives.
Okay. Anybody else?
Mayor George here.
Go ahead, George.
Is this a time also to mention the possibility of our new community center into a bonding bill?
Go ahead, Steve.
Mayor and council, it's probably, it would be premature for this bonding bill. Once we get the final numbers and the concept approved by council, we'll certainly approach our legislators about what they would recommend, either future bonding bills or just straight out legislation for funding.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay. You ready to vote? All right, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Nay.
Borzakowski,
Aye.
Schulmeyer.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And we are on item 7.1, council concerns.
We'll start with the first ward. Al.
Thank you, Mayor. I will pass.
Then we'll go to the second ward. Mylene.
Just also wanted to add my congratulations to the Sims family. And is John still here? I have a quick question. I'm wondering if he can answer real quick, or if someone can. If
I'm here.
I had a constituent ask about replacing trees on their boulevard if they've been removed, and my impression was people could plant their own trees on the boulevard, but they were asking if there were any limitations. So if that's a quick answer, you can let me know. Otherwise, we'll talk about it later.
Probably the quick answer is it's probably best to contact myself or Chris Kramer, the tree crew chief. There are some trees we don't really want on the boulevard, but we generally are supportive of people planting their own trees.
Great, thank you. That's all for me.
Okay, we'll go to the 4th Ward. George.
Oh, a lot of things going on down there. Say, just wondering, I did talk with Brian about the Hamilton Street Railroad crossing. I don't know if Brian's listening in at all, but if
Brian's
any,
here.
is Brian there?
Yes.
Yeah, Brian, any update on that Hamilton Street Railroad crossing?
Mike's working with their rail chief, and I have not got an update. CP is really difficult to get a hold of, so I'm not sure where that's at, but I can get back to you, George.
Okay, fine. Thanks, Brian. And then also this Saturday, there will be a public rosary for the protection of our police officers from noon to 1 p.m. at the police department, 201 West 3rd Street. And they will be praying for the safety and protection of all of our police officers. So those that can attend, please do so. And we'll pray for these very important people. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Paul?
I just want to acknowledge the resolution we had at the beginning of meeting tonight related to welcoming all colors, races, sexual orientations, making sure that people understand that our community is working hard at being open to all. And just a note, if Brian is still there, that those warning lights when a train is switching, the one by WK, the lower light doesn't flash. The upper one does, but the lower one doesn't.
He says, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Next item.
The consent agenda, we have the minutes from August 17th and 28th, and the final adoption of the ban on conversion therapy with the resolution to set the administrative fine.
Schoenmeyer moved to approve.
Eileen seconds.
Motion by Paul and seconded by Eileen. Discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzakowski,
Aye.
Schoenmeyer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mayor, I move we adjourn.
I second.
Okay, a motion by George and seconded by Michelle. We'll vote by roll call.
Mayor Peterson,
Aye.
Councilman Thurley,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Alexander,
Aye.
Worzakowski,
Aye.
Schoenmeyer.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
evening,
Good night.
everyone.